what's happened in the last 24 to 48 hours is disgusting. It's vile. It makes me want to leave the zombies community. It's something that I can't believe we're just sort of like putting our fingers in our ears about and standing for. It can't be allowed to be part of how we operate. It just can't. And it really actually makes me personally upset because it creates such a poisoned environment, and I think people are just happy to turn a blind eye to it. And I don't understand how they can do that. I don't understand how their priorities can be so out of whack. Like, it's just gross. It's so gross. And I want to talk about it today because I'm not scared to be the villain in a scenario like this. I feel like in some ways I've become a bit of a villain for certain people in the zombies community over the years because I criticize things that I don't like and I praise things that I do. And I'm not afraid to give my opinion. I'm not afraid to wade in, and I'm someone that has been very vocal about my scraps with Treyarch and my scraps with Activision, and like I at the end of the day would say that I wear my heart on my sleeve and it gets me in trouble sometimes. And this is one of those scenarios where I feel like I kind of got to do it. I don't really feel like there's much choice in the matter for me. So I do think it's disgusting. And I'm disappointed. I'm so disappointed. And it makes me feel like we've made no progress in a decade in this community. No progress at all is how it feels, because the same problems come back year on year on year, and they are just gross. There's no other way to put it. And I think that the people that are doing this shouldn't be in the community. I think that they're completely morally bankrupt. And if there's anything that makes me want to leave the community, like if there was a tier list of things that want me to, or things that make me want to get the hell out of here, I think this would be like number one. Yeah. It's just not on. So allow me to be the villain and say, this isn't a video about me ranting about how disgusting Freckleston is for streaming the Easter egg when he did, and for Zone giving him steps, and for Flame tweeting about it. This isn't actually a video about that. It might be surprising. You might have been getting riled up in the first couple of minutes there with me saying how disgusting these people are. You might have been like, oh, perfect. Milo's going to character assassinate someone. I can't wait for this, right? Like a blood feud. Let's go. Kill him. Kill him. If you were feeling that way, we've got to have a conversation. We need to talk. Because the thing that I am much more concerned about than all of that stuff is the fact that no matter where you stand on whether it's okay that someone cheated or they didn't or this or that, no matter where you stand, there have been disgusting, vile, personal attacks on Flame, on Freckleston, on Zone, and weirdly, they've kind of spread to other people now as well in the past 48 hours, and it's turning into a really horrible thing. And I want to be someone that stands up and says, guys, can we be adults here? I've been in the community since I was a child. I've seen this happen every year. I know the rodeo now. I've seen it a million times. But if we don't call it out and we let it fester and we let it happen in group chats and we're just sort of like, oh yeah, they're just sort of doing their thing again, it's going to be the end of all of this. It just is. Because we have 2 years of no zombies game that we're about to go into. And if we're making death threats to people during the year, right, where there's actually zombies, when we should be the happiest, when we've got a sick map. If we're doing that now, I know how utterly abhorrent it's going to get in a year's time when we're playing Season 5 of Modern Warfare 4. I know it's going to get dark, and I don't want that future for us because I actually care about being in this space. I care about it not being just polluted by these disgusting creatures that say these sorts of things. I care about that. And if I didn't care about it, I'd be gone. I'd be like, you know what? That's always going to just be a completely poisonous atmosphere. Why would I stay in it a moment longer than I have to? I'm out. Why would I do that, right? And I don't want to do that. I want to suck the poison out of it. And I want to be real here and have a proper nuanced discussion of this. Flame tweeted about having done the Easter egg. It was going to go on TGR's channel. Then Freckleston streamed the Easter egg with Zone, I think, giving Freckleston steps. And then Treyarch tweeted about it. And I want to start with the Treyarch tweet because I think that Treyarch are also in kind of a spooky position here. And I think that what they've done is very good and has the potential to be very bad. And I want to just bring this to their attention. So Treyarch tweeted, after a race that lasted nearly 60 hours, we were beyond disappointed to see a significant portion of the quest spoiled by bad actors and the people who amplified them. On the one hand, because it's possible as an adult to be able to see both sides of the coin, on the one hand, it's very good that Treyarch have tweeted this. It's good comms. It's good that they've addressed it. It's good that they've seen the elephant in the room and they haven't shied away from it. It's good that they've been unleashed in many ways this year to be able to be a bit more communicative on the timeline, and it's manifesting right now in Easter egg discourse. That is good. These are all good things, and I'm glad that Treyarch is taking it seriously. I'm glad that Treyarch recognizes the fact that obviously this really spoils the hard work of a lot of the devs, and that's something that if they talk about, it will be helpful for the community to understand that these negative actions of various people do have implications, and those are things that we might want to avoid and preserve that hard work of the devs, etc., etc. It's good that Treyarch is communicating those things to us. Just going to let that sit in the air for a second before someone says, Milo thinks Treyarch's negative about Treyarch all the time. You hear me saying the word good, bozo? It's good. However, on the other side of the coin, I think that there is room within Treyarch's statement for it to be used as firepower by these bad actors doing this horrible, horrible stuff, and they will feel empowered because of the fact that they're doing it sort of almost on Treyarch's behalf. They're almost like taking out the trash in some way, and they're trying to take down these bad actors and the people who amplified them, and they feel like that's what Treyarch would want, right? And I think that that's obviously not Treyarch's intention here. Treyarch is not trying to sort of rile people up. This isn't a dog whistle, but Treyarch has not had to have a comm strategy thus far that has ever had to be combative. That's never been the stance that Call of Duty's really taken. It is a new precedent that is being set every time they tweet one of these tweets. It's new for the brand en masse, at large. And it's across all the Call of Duty accounts, Call of Duty CM and Infinity Ward and Treyarch and Call of Duty and the COD Live Service or COD Live Seasons or whatever it is account. They're in new ground here. And I just want them to be really careful about whipping up hatred against these bad actors or the people that amplified them in a way like this, right? We'll do everything possible to protect the experience for next season's finale. Good. I'm glad that they're acknowledging that there's work to be done. I think that there's room for them in their statement to have said that there was a mistake in the game files that was them leaving in all of the directed strings. I think that they could have owned their part in it, potentially. But at the same time, I'd understand that they wouldn't want to sort of say, my bad, guys, when they want to put the blame on the leakers, and that's what they've said in that previous paragraph. I understand that, right? But I worry a little that if Treyarch was to continue down this path, it might lead to a world where there are witch hunts that become possible, and there could even be witch hunts towards people that are completely innocent as well. So the ambiguity of Treyarch's message, it sort of removes the possibility of any nuance in that conversation. And equally, it means that Freckleston, who streamed it, is guilty and has gone against Treyarch's wishes. And Zone is guilt, like, it's just the guilt brush is painted on those people. But then weirdly, it goes even a step further, where Freckleston in his stream started saying that some other big YouTubers also knew about it. And I think that he mentioned John, specifically. That's Mr. Dalek JD. Now, I haven't always seen eye to eye with John over the years, but what I can absolutely hand on heart, hand on frog is what I'm doing right now, hand on frog, I can say that over the last several years, I feel like I've gotten to know John better than I ever did historically. We're not crazy close, but I feel like I've gotten to know him in a way that I just didn't previously. And he is just not the kind of person that I can see scrabbling for directed mode steps and lying about it, and then lying for hours and hours and hours across stream to stream to stream. I just don't see that in him. And so it's I could be wrong, obviously, and I haven't spoken to him about it, and he doesn't know that I'm mentioning him here, but I feel a little inclined to defend the guy purely because of the fact that I feel like that was quite an out-of-pocket accusation to just be like, here's an example. Now, I believe part of the reasoning is that John had, like, tested something in his hunting that was kind of close to what you did have to do, but the problem is that it's an Easter egg hunt. I said on stream like 2 days ago, I'm giving ammunition to the haters here, but screw it. I'm pretty sure I said, I could have been mistaken about this. I think I said in response to someone that asked me a question about the hunt, I think it's going to go really long, and I wouldn't be surprised if the solution is something stupid like throwing a grenade through a window. I'm pretty sure somewhere I said those words. You can scrub through the VODs. So I said that. Does that mean I knew the steps? Because technically, right after the little bit that everyone was stuck on, that nobleman starts throwing grenades down, and you literally throw a grenade through a window. It is literally what happened. And I said it. So, does that mean that I'm a bad actor? You see where I'm going with this. It means that you can just sort of draw conclusions about anyone you want, whip up witch hunts about anyone you want, with this kind of moral justification and backing that, like, you're defending Treyarch. You're, like, white knighting the devs or whatever. And I think that we need to bring the temperature down, to be honest. And I would say, as someone that met Freckleston in person for the first time, like, a month ago, I would say to you, Jack, in a scenario like this, the witch hunt of people that are being disgusting about you is not on. It's just not on. But equally, I would say that the immediacy of jumping in and throwing other creators under the bus is only ever going to lead to dark places. It just is. It's a tricky one because I, having met Jack in person and knowing a little bit about the guy, we're not really close mates, but knowing a little bit about the guy, I don't think he had any real ill will here. I think that he cares about the race. I think he actually cares about the race a hell of a lot more than I do. I'm much more so these days about just, like, the excitement of getting the damn thing done with everyone. I think he cares more about the first element. And what I suspect has happened is that he's been really upset by the fact that it's leaked, and he's then gone in sort of feeling like, well, all bets are off now because the race is over. So it's like it's anyone's game. right? And then people have been really horrible about him. And he's been like, whoa, I'm not the problem. What the hell are you guys talking about? This is it. It's not just me, it's everyone, right? I think it's been like that snap decision, that snap sort of judgment. And I can totally appreciate, having been in this space a fair bit longer than he has, not to sort of sun you, Jack, apologies, but I can totally appreciate why you would feel that way in that moment and why that would be the course of action that you would take. But I would say I'd be very careful about just pinning it on other people in any kind of capacity here, because I think that just creates, that does create problems. Equally though, I think for everyone that feels that they have immediate moral superiority because they think that it's terrible that he did what he did, I think that there's an argument to be made, I think this argument does exist, that if the egg has been cheated, right? If it has been done, and the guide is going to go up on the TGR channel within the next hour, let's say, let's just run this thought experiment. In that world, the cheated guide is going up in an hour, and you have the opportunity to just do it without even using that, but just with using the cheated information. Does it matter whether you wait until after that hour has passed? That's basically the question, right? That's the question we need to examine here. Does it matter for you to wait for the cheated guide? Because at that point, it's out. Does it matter if you wait that hour? I don't even know when TGR posted the guide, for the record. I'm just saying an hour for the hypothetical. Because I'd sort of argue, I don't think it makes a damn difference if you wait an hour or not there. Because it's leaked. In the hypothetical world where this happens again for DLC 5, what I would love to happen, if there's leaks in this manner and someone solves it and there isn't a guide out, I would love for there to be a scenario where we all basically keep hunting. It's very, very ruinous to get in a scenario where you are hunting as something that you know that other people have leaks for. Like, it's horrid, but I still think it would be a better case scenario. Now, sadly, that's idealistic Valhalla and it's not real. And it's important to recognize it's not real, because what do you do then, for example, if someone watches the leaked information and then goes in my chat and donates me a message saying, hey, Milo, throw 3 decoys on the walls of the thing, and I do it. Then have I broken the social contract? Have I broken the kumbaya? Have I broken the hand-holding? I couldn't have known because I didn't know the steps, but then that person has ruined it for everyone, right? So, like, it's impossible. There is no world where you win once those leaks are there, but the thing it really boils down to, I think, is that the only way for there to be 0 bad actors here, the only way for anybody to move forward in the best possible manner is for Treyarch to make sure that there's just no possibility for the leak in the first place. Like, we shouldn't have to be in a position where we're like, should I or shouldn't I play the game right now? Because, like, if I stream the game and someone donates me a leaked step, what if that means a witch hunt starts on me, right? And then what if Treyarch tweaks out about bad actors and people who amplified them? Does that make me a bad actor? Does that make me an amplifier if someone donates me a message and I read out, you should throw a decoy on these windows. I just did it in my game and it worked, right? That's how Zombies community Easter egg hunts go. That is the core of Easter egg hunts, is people sharing information, chats going to other chats to be like, he did this, he did that. Me saying on comms, I did this, another streamer watching my video and being like, oh, we need to do this. It's the cross-pollination. That's why the race element for me is like, it's whatever. It's whatever these days. It's important, but it's whatever. Because we're all working together, really. And there is no world where you can 100% air gap yourself from those leaks if they are present in the first place. And so at the end of the day, it's Treyarch's responsibility. They've got to sort it. So, regardless of your opinion of Zone or Flame or Frecklestone or whatever, the personal attacks have to stop. That stuff has to be cut out immediately. And I hope that we can dig in a little bit as to what exactly happened here maybe in the next coming days so that we all are a bit more informed as to the timeline of events. But then we can move on, hopefully positively, towards what should hopefully be quite a good end of Black Ops 7 and end of the Ether story thus far. Kawakujo is a good map. And it would be a shame for us to just be more interested in the drama than on that. I think that's all I have to say.